All right. Hello, everybody. Jono here from the Course Creator Community Podcast, and I am super excited because we've got a couple of awesome guests on the line this week. We have Cassia and Jennifer from Digital Course Hive. If you're not sure what Digital Course Hive is, we'll speak about it today, but essentially it's the last business software you'll ever need. It's a woman-owned all-in-one business software that has everything you need for websites, membership, course creation, funnels, email automation, e-commerce, marketing, and appointments only. I'm running out of breath running through all the stuff it does, but without further ado, let me introduce Cassia and Jennifer. How are you two going?
Good, we're good.
Awesome, awesome. Now, let's do a really quick intro. First about you two, then about the software. Cassia, whereabouts are you based?
We are both in Los Angeles. I'm in Sherman Oaks.
And
Jennifer,
I'm up in Santa Clarita, Magic Mountain area.
I have no idea where either of those two things are. I've been to LA. I know Hollywood. Is it near Hollywood?
We're just north of Hollywood.
Oh, okay.
I live like right over the mountains of the Hollywood sign from Hollywood. Like just
so you see the back,
skip and a jump.
so you see the back of the Hollywood sign, do you? You see
Well, the back
this
of
is
the mountain.
Oh, back of the mountain.
Of the Hollywood sign.
Okay, all right. Let's get into Digital Course Hive. Who wants to give me a minute or two rundown about what it is, why it started? Who's the best? Jennifer? All right.
Yeah,
So the question essentially,
yeah.
the question is, let's ask it in a few different ways. So Digital Course Hive, what is it? We can probably go over that pretty quick. Why did you get it together? There's obviously a lot of platforms out there: Kajabi, Teachable, Thinkific, UZenLab. Why another one? And tell us also a little bit about how it got started. So it's probably going to be longer than 2 minutes. I'll probably give you 5 for those things.
Sounds good. So we are a true all-in-one business software. So we specialize in course creation because that's Cassie and my background. We specialize in digital courses and online course systems. But it's a true all-in-one. So we're talking websites, funnels, calendar, courses, digital products, e-commerce. It's literally a one-stop shop. And the reason we did create it was because we were working in Kajabi. We call Kajabi our favorite stepchild. It is, we love the system. We do WordPress, we've done Kartra, we've done Teachable, Thinkific, and all systems are great, but we were finding we were working with a lot of, in 2020 specifically, we were working with a lot of nonprofits, inner city art programs, pastors, deacons, rabbis, people who were not necessarily making the kind of money that the system needed to survive. And also we had to piece together a lot of different systems for them to work. If they wanted to sell e-commerce, we'd have to get another system. They wanted to book calendar appointments, another system. So it just got to be these massive systems that we couldn't turn over and trust that any entrepreneur could handle by themselves, because that's ultimately what we want, like lean systems to manage our business, right? So that's when it happened. Cassia literally said, you know what? There's no women in this field. I can do this. And that's how it started.
Sick. What was the first step from that?
That's all Cassia. Cassia just gets to work. Cassia is the person that if you give her something, she will work day and night to figure it out if she doesn't already know how to do it. I can't explain like the yin and yang of us two is I'm definitely strategy. I'm the talker. I'm the business side. I do the books. I talk to the clients. I do marketing and outreach. And Cassie is amazing at systems, architecture, and we both can do both, but she really thrives and enjoys. I mean, all weekend, I think she just worked on API connections is a like good time. So
that is true. Right now we're developing our video hosting side of our system. But yeah, I remember the day when I told Jennifer, I'm like, you know what, screw it. We are going to do this. I am going to build our own platform. And I did think I worked day and night just to get it out there. And then I also wanted to add on top of that with our system is also the only drag and drop course and membership builder. Kajabi and Thinkific, they use a CMS based platform. And if you don't know what CMS is, it's content management system. So it's like WordPress where you put in the title and the description, and it just places it into a pre-made template. So there's no customization, there's no unique features of your course except for the options they give you, which presents to be problematic, especially when you're trying to make a user interface that's going to be unique to the type of students that you're serving.
Gotcha. All right, let's go back a few steps here. I like what you're saying. I'm pretty handy at courses and course platforms, and even it's going a little bit over my head. So let's bring it right back. And also, I'll mention for the listeners as well, we're not just going to plug Digital Course Hive. You can obviously go and check it out. Go to the link in the show notes, and there's a free trial there for 14 days. And I won't mention a price because it might change by the time someone listens to this. But from what I can see, it's probably the most affordable one out there as well, even when you're on
It is.
price. Yeah. So
Yeah, that's a huge thing for us. We really, really wanted it to be affordable for those entrepreneurs who are just getting their feet wet and might not have the capital to, dump a couple $100s every month into a system while they build.
Such a good point. Let's spend a minute there and then we'll go back, right? So
Yeah.
I'm 100% on the same page as you there. So I also love Kajabi. I think it's an amazing platform. And yeah, I get it, the drag and drop. That's not a big thing for me though. Like I'm fine. I'll have a similar template to everyone else. I don't really care. But I got like 40 courses. If I'm using Kajabi, I'm paying $400 a month, right?
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. I've been doing this a while. It's still worth it for me, right? And I actually
Absolutely, yeah.
use it, but it still would be worth it for me to use Kajabi because I've got the revenue coming in and $400 of that to do all that. Hey, it's not the end of the world, But if someone's starting off, and they're making $1,000, $2,000 a month, and you're putting 50 to, or 25 to 50% of that just on your course platform, that's a big, and it's not bad. It's a good platform. No one's denying that. It's just if you're starting off, is it a good idea to put 50% of your budget into your course software? You're probably better off, pay $50 to Digital Course Hive. That extra $350 that you would have spent on Kajabi, go and put that on some advertising. Maybe hire a virtual assistant. Maybe do some, info, whatever it may be. Use that to bring some revenue in and go from there. Let's speak about courses course platforms in general, because I'll run you through kind of the way I think about it, and let's have a bit of a discussion around there, and I'll get everyone's opinion. So, because there's a lot of people that will be listening to this, and they won't know the intricacies between the different platforms. I'm sure all three of us will. We know what an all-in-one is. We know what a marketplace is. We know what an online school is. There'll be people listening to this that won't know those intricacies. They'll just be like, oh, Udemy or Kajabi, which one's better? And it's like, so let's kind of break those down. I think the first thing we want to look at is kind of like a marketplace versus a non-marketplace. So for now, Udemy, essentially Udemy and Skillshare versus every other platform out there. Let's spend a minute there. Who's got, well, just so it doesn't get confusing, we might always start with Jennifer and then go to Cassia, just so we're not waiting for awkward silence for someone to go. So what's your take, Jennifer? Udemy versus non-Udemy? Who should go for one? Who should go for the other? Or what's your take on that?
It really depends on the client. I know everybody probably always says that first, but marketplaces definitely have their place. I often don't tell people to go to a marketplace first or to put a signature course on a marketplace. I find marketplaces are great for mini courses or something that would help you gain traction. It's more of a marketing technique for me. These marketplaces to gain traction, get the word out of who you are, bring in some client base there, and then have your signature course under your own platform where you have more control of the user experience and where they're going to be going.
Gotcha. Well, let's spend a minute there. Why is that? Why would you say, why would someone not put it on Udemy?
I mean, they can, don't get me wrong. I just feel you have an ability to upsell, downsell, create a great user experience, house a user experience that's going to get a full transformation for the client. And then it's going to be easier for you to market outside of that system. If you are spending your marketing dollar pushing people to a course inside somebody else's platform, you're losing so much data and so many opportunities to expand your client base. So you always want to keep your SEO, you want to keep your content, you want to keep as much as you can, because maybe not right away, you're not going to see that,
Mm.
but 3 years down the road, when you've made a name for yourself, you know, in whatever field you're in, you don't want to be driving traffic to Udemy.
Gotcha.
If that makes sense.
Cassia, anything to add on that?
You know, she took all the words right out of my mouth. I mean, Udemy, I almost think of it as like, so I'm starting a clothing brand store and I put my stuff on Etsy. It's not, it can be your main place you drive people, but you lose so many opportunities with advertising and user experience, and brand recognition with that platform. However, it is a good marketing avenue. You know, you are still pushing people over there. But we do prefer to push people to start their own store, own domain, own logo, own brand, and run advertising towards that platform.
Yep, I agree with everything you two mentioned. My take on it as well is it's like, and the reason why I think it depends on the client, but also the client outcomes. It's very hard to be ridiculously successful on Udemy, right? It's kind of like there's just how much course. There's probably thousands, tens of thousands of courses on there. You know, it's like if you want to. What was that, sorry?
Yeah, the price points are so low on Udemy too.
Exactly. You know, and most of the sales are only done when you sell them for $5 or whatever, and Udemy takes half of that. So it's kind of like, look, it's my take on that is if you want to do absolutely nothing, if you're like, look, I want to put a course together and I want to do absolutely no marketing, I want it to sell itself, you know, well, okay, go on Udemy. You're never going to get rich off it, but you may make a couple extra $100 a month doing not much, right? Whereas on the flip side, if you used whatever, an all-in-one or an online school, and you're like, right, I'm going to do absolutely nothing, well, you're going to get absolutely nothing because no one's going to find it, you know? So that's where I would take, that's the only reason I would take Udemy if you want to do absolutely nothing. If you want to do something, as the ladies mentioned, it's kind of like, well, if you're going to plug it yourself, why would you do it on someone else's platform, you know, and go via, you know, and be, what's the word I'm looking for, a commodity on someone else's platform, you know, send to your own, and you've got options there. So on the same page there. So, all right, let's say we're going through this and someone's like, all right, well, I'm not going to do Udemy, you know, I'm going to go for my online course. I think the next big question is, all right, do I get a third-party LMS like a Digital Course Hive, Kajabi, Teachable, whatever it is, or do I self-host it on my website with a, you know, a LearnDash plugin or whatever it may be? Let's have that discussion. Jennifer, self-hosted,
Yeah,
third-party?
both. So
Okay.
we think that if you already have a website up and running,
Mm,
we always say, you know, meet you where you are. We will still work with clients one-on-one. And if they have a really amazing WordPress site, we would do WordPress plugins. We wouldn't tell you to switch platforms to ours, you know, you don't necessarily need that. So I think you have to have it on your website in some way. Now, most people coming in that work with us or that we find are new. And so get a LMS platform that has a website builder. So you have both together, and then you can properly set up your website to push your traffic, maximize conversions. That's usually the easiest. But if you are coming, let's say, I don't know, you own a bank, that's like the weirdest thing, but it's in my head now. You own a bank and you're like, you know what, I want to do a course, and you already have this 60-page bank website, and find somebody to put it on your website, or get a LearnDash plugin, or wherever you are. If you're trying to do this completely on your own as like a fun side project, then you can purchase an LMS if it's something that you want to. But we always say, for SEO, for keeping it together and keeping it easy on you, have them both in the same area. Now, we do work under something we call the fastest path to cash. So we don't necessarily say start with a website. We always recommend fastest path to cash. Usually involves some sort of pipeline, freebie, build your audience, and then a sales page, and then course. We always actually leave website till the very, very end, just because we find it's not necessary in the beginning.
Yes. Cassia, anything to add?
Yeah, I mean, if you're trying to decide whether you should use a plugin on your current WordPress site, if you do have WordPress and you are comfortable with WordPress, because I find that a lot of people that we work with are like, I want to switch away from WordPress because it is way too hard. Well, then you're probably going to want to switch to the a third party platform route, because you have to be nimble inside of your website and you have to be comfortable. And then if you forgot what the last part of that, what I said was.
I can give my 2 cents while you're thinking.
Yes, go right ahead.
So agree 100%. So many good points there. I think, and this one probably depends more on the client than the other one. As Jennifer mentioned, if you've already got a website and it's already got, SEO juice and it's already ranking, well, hey, it's probably easier just to get a plugin on there, because you're going to pay $100 a year, I think it is, for a LearnDash platform or something like that. So it's pretty easy to do that. I think and just simplifying it here, the limitation is also what Cassia mentioned. Someone like myself, I'm a WordPress dummy. I've got a good website, but I won't host my course on there with LearnDash because I'm a dummy. I use other platforms, Teachable, New Zenler, and that, like a little kid can use them. So if you're a technological dunce, then I think the third party is definitely the way to go. If you're good with tech, yes, I think if you're a technical dunce or if you don't have a website, go the third party for sure. It's easy. So I'll use myself as an example. I could jump on any third-party LMS now and create a website and a course in a couple hours, and I'm a dummy. But to get me to do that on a website, I'm gone. Wouldn't know how to do it, So yeah, I think it's a very good answer there. Did you think of what you wanted to finish off with, Cassia?
Yeah, and if you are saying to yourself, I am a technical dunce, I should go the third party route. But however, you're saying to yourself later on, I want to add this unique feature and that unique feature, and I want all these crazy things to happen on my website, you are still going to have to go the WordPress route.
Yeah.
Just want to revert that backwards.
Yeah, good point. That is an interesting one. And also yeah, anyway, I think we've covered that enough there. So, okay, then the next point. So let's say now most people that are listening to this are probably not WordPress experts, don't have a website, so they've decided to go the third-party platform. I think the next discussion is, all right, do we go with something that's like an online course specific thing? So like a Teachable, a Thinkific, that may have some marketing features, but that's not what they're for. They're an online course platform, right? Or do we go for an all-in-one, a Digital Course Hive, a Kajabi, a New Zenler? Jennifer, what's your take there?
Mine might be a little bit different, but I feel like you should dive into the more robust platforms. And the reason being, because if you start at the beginning, I always say you can system hop your way from success. Like you can system hop right out of the business. So if you jump in on a more robust platform down the road, you won't need to add something or switch platforms or do anything like that. But you don't necessarily have to utilize those systems right away. And then you're more comfortable with that platform as time goes on. And that just makes business easier. So I feel like you need to find a system, create a wish list, create, the wants, needs, desires list, and find a system that's going to fill all of that, even if it's not within the first 30 days and maybe within the first 3 years, and start working in there. Because by the time you get 6 months in, you're going to be an expert in that system, and that system's going to grow with you. So you don't have to dump it and learn a new system.
Great.
Cassia?
I think it's pretty, I think all the features anyway. So when you're joining an all-in-one, similar Digital Course Hive or Kajabi, you need those email marketing right away. I mean, just jump right in. Don't be like, I'm going to build my course now and 3 years down the road, actually start to market it. No, like do it now. And also it helps you learn, like if you're a person who learns by doing, it helps you learn right away. And then Jennifer's right. We see so many people who have tried every system in the books, and then they end up coming back around to an all-in-one, like, okay, this is it. This is the one I'm going to use. So I would recommend just jumping in right away. Do it all. And
there's going to be a learning curve naturally when you do that, but it's going to be worth it in the long run. We can go simpler and make it faster, but is that going to get us to our ultimate goal?
I'll add on that because this is the one where I'm 100% all in one because I've made them in one of my businesses. I still use not an all in one. I use Teachable, and great platform to host online courses on. But up until even like a year or so ago, this is what I had to do. So Teachable, great for hosting online courses, but no email marketing. So I also had to get Active Campaign. So I was paying, I don't know, 100, 150 bucks for Teachable, and then a couple $100 for Active Campaign as well, right? On top of that, neither of those really have landing pages. So I was also paying ClickFunnels as well, right? 300 bucks a month or something like that, right? And then also some of them didn't really talk to each other. So I also needed to use Zapier. You know, I've got 40 online courses. I'm paying a couple $100 for Zapier, you know? And then on top of that, I didn't quite like the ClickFunnels cart system or the Teachable one. So I also got Samcart as well, another $100 on that or something. So I was paying about $1,000 a month for something that I could have got for $50 a month if I was on Digital Course Hive, right? And I didn't know better at the time. And also,
Yeah.
a lot of these platforms weren't around or didn't have all of these things when I started, right? But the message that I'm coming across there, if someone's looking at this and they're like, oh, hold on, I can get Teachable for $20 a month, and or I can get, I'm just going to use Kajabi as an example because just to highlight the difference, or I can get Kajabi for $100 a month. Well, why would I pay $100 for Kajabi if I could get Teachable for 20? Well, it's not just Teachable you're going to be getting. You're also going to have to get Active Campaign. You're also going to have to get a landing page software. You're also going to have to get Zapier. And I've done the math on all of these. I don't think I've found a way to make long-term anyway. Obviously, you can get the beginner Teachable thing, but then you can't do subscriptions or whatever. And then you can get, you know, MailerLite for free, but that's only to 1,000 people or whatever. Like eventually, and before too long, it's never, the all-in-one is not only going to be better, but it's going to be cheaper. If you're doing it to save money, I'll get Teachable here and MailerLite there. It's going to cost you more in the long run. And then also it's just a bit clunkier. You're going to have to get Zapier as well to integrate it, but then you got to do the zaps, and then it's just so much easier if you can have it all in the, if you can have it all in the one thing there. So I always recommend all-in-ones because it's cheaper, better, and easier, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Those are the horror stories we hear all the time. And it's like my anxiety, just like, oh God, it's so much.
My blood pressure's like up here.
I know, we're just like, no.
Yeah, and
do it.
here's the other thing as well. It's okay for me because I've had a virtual assistant with me at the start, and both of us know exactly how these systems work. If either of us walked away, good luck with someone trying to figure out our system, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think ideally we've sold everyone on an all-in-one from this stage here. Now it's a matter of which all-in-one. Now, I hadn't heard of Digital Course Hive until today, you know. Well, Cassie told me about it, but I was like, oh, sounds good. I'll check it, you know, tomorrow or whatever. And then I looked them up. I'm like, all right, it's pretty good. So previously, I've always just gone or compared either Kajabi or New Zenler. They were the two that I saw at that point that are like, okay, you know, they've got everything you need all in one. I think Kajabi is a little better than New Zenler. It's been around longer. It looks a little bit nicer, but the limitation is the price point. And this is the down point with Kajabi, and this is why one of the reasons why I recommend New Zenler over it is at the start point. I think the beginner option at Kajabi is $100 a month. New Zenler is $67 a month. It's pretty comparable at there. You're like, an extra $30 a month for a better thing. I'll do that. But Kajabi starts at 100, but I think you get like 3 courses or something. You know, if you get a mini course, a level 1 and level 2, you're gone. You got to upgrade, you know? And then all of a sudden it's $200 a month. And then all of a sudden it's $400 a month, and it keeps going up. New Zenler is 67 at the one point. And I'm like, that's a steal, you know, like 67 there. It's really 67 versus 400 when you're looking at New Zenler and Kajabi. But I'm looking at Digital Course Hive. Can I mention the price? This is the price as of
that's fine.
June the 28th. So if you're listening to this in a year's time or whatever it is, like, you know, it may not be there. Yeah. But from what I can see, it's 50 a month. Is it the 49? So, and that's
49 a month. Yeah.
Yeah, 49 US. So, maybe he's an alternative to New Zenler. If I'm plugging New Zenler at $67 a month, maybe you can get Digital Course Hive at 50. But either way, let me get your opinion on that. I guess the question here is, what all-in-one do you pick and why?
I think you really have to create the list of what you're looking to do. And then I feel like you need to get into the system. I'm a huge research person. And we could say New Zenler, Podia, Buddy Press, MemberSpace, Circle SO, Kajabi, Kartra. There's so many out there. Once you start looking, you're going to go down a hole. I feel like you need to get into them. So just get into one and be like, hey, does this feel right?
Yeah.
Can I navigate this easily?
Yeah.
Is it the user experience of that particular site? Good. Because all of the sites are great.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't met a system that we don't like.
I have free version of MailChimp. Don't tell me you like.
Oh my God.
No, those are email marketing systems. I didn't even get into that.
Yeah.
No, I don't like any email marketing system. But I think you need to make your list of what you need. Find 4 or 5 systems that meet that criteria. And then everybody has a free trial, right? So jump in, spend an hour a day for 5 days in each different system and see if you like the way it looks. Because some people might, it's like,
right, Jennifer, have 2 at once. Hey, I'm going to have Kajabi up and I'm going to have Digital Course Hive up. Let me put it in this one and put it in this one. Oh, it's way easier on this one, or it looks way better on that one. Because you can't, I think you need 2 to compare and contrast, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You have to pick out the ones that you like the best and then spend some more time in those. So that's all we recommend people do. People come to our system because we're different and we have very customized, like we're very hands-on. You speak to Jen and Cass when you're looking for any assistance in the platform. Chat support is literally us sitting at our desk like this. So they come to us mostly for that reason. That's the biggest thing that we get is our chat support and our help and our assistance, and then the easy to use platform. But Kajabi, there were reasons that we use Kajabi. It was simple to build, easy pages. It had great pre-made themes when they first started, and it has a great community, and it had good chat support, which I don't think you get now on the base price, but they do have great chat support. They always answered all of our questions. So and the same with Kartra. Kartra is very clunky for me, but some people love it, like swear by it and think it's the easiest system to use. So I can never speak down about any system.
Right. It is.
We can't. Yeah.
What was that?
It's like choosing a car or choosing a husband or choosing. We always say you can't choose your husband if you don't go on a couple dates, right?
Yeah. Well,
So,
you're lucky you finished that. It was like, you can't choose your husband. I'm like, where do you live? Here in Sydney.
America, that's where we live.
Cassia,
wait for it. We'll be there soon.
Cassia, anything to add?
So when I'm trying to choose a system, what I do is I try to build out as roughly and as messily as possible the system, the course that I'm trying to build out. And I see, does it connect with everything that I want to do? I have to let go of my idea of the email being like this, and I have to let go of my idea of the course looking like that. And however, this one has a calendar feature. And so I just build it out as roughly as possible, see where it leads me, and then choose the 2. Or choose one of the 2, I mean.
That's such a good tip, because it's kind of like the last thing you want to do is go deep into something and then you're like, oh man, the email. Because have you 2 used Go High Level at all? You're on mute, Jennifer.
No, we hear a lot about Go High Level too. A lot of people from the Kajabi group, a lot of people that work as Kajabi professionals have moved to Go High Level.
Yeah.
So I know it's a great platform. It gets a lot of great reviews.
I'm using it at the moment for some of my stuff. The limitation though is it is complicated. Like, it's good, but it's complicated. So anyway, that's getting a little bit off topic there. But yeah, I think it's so important to, like, as Cassia said, build it out as rough as possible, because you want to go deep into a platform and be like, oh, I can't do that. You know, I've got to
Right,
do
like
this
you
like this.
said,
That's
20 hours building your course out and you find out that you can't send the email that you want to send.
exactly. You know, it's better to have just, you know, the course not even done, just a few, okay, I'll put one video there and see what it looks like and one module there. Okay, let me go through the process. So yeah, I love that. All right, cool. I mean, I think that's pretty much all I wanted to go through in terms of the online course space. Anything, I'm just on your website now. I actually see in the top right, there's an affiliate program. I should have signed up for that before I went on this podcast. Anything you want, go back to you again, Jennifer, anything you want to finish us off with in regards to online course platforms?
I just tell people to slow down and do the research. Never depend on gurus or coaches or anybody else with something so personal. People really need to think of it in more of an intimate manner and not of a, hey, I'm just going to throw this. My coach told me to throw up a landing page on a thing and start making money, or this guru uses this system, so I'm going to go with that one, even though I have no idea what I'm doing. I think people just need to take a minute and do the research. It's going to save you years and tens of thousands of dollars down the road of jumping ship, restarting, rebuilding, rehiring VAs, finding new people, wasting time. So just slow down, do your research.
Awesome. Cassia, anything you want to finish us off with?
I guess my final comments are more so of a word of encouragement, because I have a lot of people who come to me, they're frustrated with technology and they're trying to do this thing and they can't do it and they're overwhelmed. And 99% of the time, I find that they're like right there, like they were doing it right all along and they're just sitting there doubting themselves in frustration. So if you're listening to this, just know you're probably much better at technology than you think you are.
Yes, love it. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you for your time, Cassia and Jennifer. For everyone listening, Digital Course Hive, if you want to check it out, I'll put the link below for a free trial.